Want to know how to use Instagram stories successfully for your handmade business? In this video, I'm going to share with you the lowdown, everything you need to know to get started with Instagram stories today. Hi, my name is Mei, and I help makers, artists, and designers make a consistent income from selling their handmade products online. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. What are Instagram stories? Everyone is familiar with the Instagram feed, right? When you post to Instagram, these are the images that show up in your followers' news feeds and on your Instagram profile page. I like to think of these images as like your portfolio. It's where you should be putting your best images because this is mostly how people will judge whether or not they should follow your account. So if say your last 9 posts have 5 images of a cat, people probably aren't going to follow you. Unless you're running a cat account or your cat is super cute or different. Stories are a newish feature that was introduced in 2016 as a way of giving viewers more of what they want, which is more content and video. You can post either an image or a video as a story, and your story disappears 24 hours after posting it. But you might be wondering, why create so much content if it just goes away after 24 hours? Well, 2 reasons. Stories are a great tool for increasing engagement, and 2, you can use stories as highlights. It's the secret trick for giving your stories maximum impact. So let's hit these 2 points and then I'll get into more tricks for making the most of your Instagram stories. If you're new to stories and you want to view them, they're the circles that appear at the top of your app. The ordering of stories that appear is based on how often you engage with those people and their content. The reality is customers have gotten pretty bored and desensitized to professional looking photos from accounts. So instead, right now, people are looking for more authenticity from social media. But it's kind of a balance. People definitely still expect the professional photos, but they want to see even more than that. And that's where stories come in. Because they disappear, you don't have to worry so much about every photo being perfect. You can post what you're doing and give your followers the real, behind-the-scenes look inside your business. And because stories are located outside of your feed, right there at the top of the app, you'll find yourself in front of eyeballs, which is super important. We all want more visibility on Instagram, and stories can help with that. Posting between 1 and 7 stories a day is considered ideal. Posting more than that is fine, but you won't see the same engagement with your content. So what are some ideas to post in your stories? Here are some examples. A picture of your shipping boxes piling up. This is social proof that people love to see, that you're making and shipping orders. It gives you credibility and makes people want to shop from you. A behind-the-scenes photo at your studio. It can even be a messy one. No one cares. People actually like that. In-progress projects or products that might not be quite ready for launching yet. It gives people a sense that they're along the ride for the journey. Surveys. I'll tell you more about the fun features in a little bit. Or just a quick video clip of you talking about something related to your business. While people want to see authenticity, I do still recommend keeping your stories mostly about your business and less about personal stuff, unless you're an influencer first and a product business second. When people see your face and your studio and your process, they get to know you, they get to trust you. And that this increases the trust in your brand and makes them more likely to make a purchase from you. Want to know what else is amazing? If a follower watches your stories, then the algorithm knows that they're interested in what you're doing, which means they'll see more of your posts as well. So if nothing else, stories are a great way to recapture engagement with your followers' feeds that you've fallen off of. One more thing about engagement. Stories don't allow visible or public comments like regular posts, but your followers can reply to your story. Right now, the reply shows up as a direct message in your inbox with all of your other messages. So make sure that you're regularly checking your message requests and engaging with those replies. If someone asks you a question about your product, you want to be on it. Besides, replying increases your engagement score with the algorithm anyway. Now, let's talk about highlights. Highlights are the circles that appear above your most recent posts on your profile page. These are stories that you choose to highlight and put into categories. These remain past the 24-hour expiration period until you decide to remove them. This is great because if you're creating amazing content, you want people to see it for more than 24 hours, right? So you can create as many categories as you want in your highlights. And the one that you've most recently added content to is the one that will appear first. I recommend creating about 3 to 6 highlights depending on what kind of content you're creating. To highlight a story, simply watch your own story and then tap on highlight, which appears as a little heart in most versions of the app. You will then choose which category you want the story to go into. By default, the cover image of the highlights is an image from the content inside the story. However, if you're going for a super cohesive look, you can use a set of icons that suit your brand. Creative Market is my go-to source for cute icons. There's so many options, you'll definitely find ones that will work for you. Just be sure to keep the image flexible enough to suit your content. You don't want to be making 4 amazing categories and then never really add another category or highlight just because you can't find the right icon for it. Alright, so what makes for good highlights? Here are a few suggestions. Behind the scenes images, product information, FAQs, tutorials or blog content, and customer photos, which I'll talk more about next. I like to think of your highlights in the same way as you think about your website homepage. What do you want a new visitor to see? What do they want to know before making a purchase? What content would help them to choose you over your competitors? Highlights are the place to show those things. If you're enjoying this video and if you're finding it helpful, please hit the like button, maybe even subscribe if you want more videos like this. When you like or subscribe or leave a comment, it tells YouTube that this was a good video and it helps show it to more people on YouTube. Now, I mentioned customer content. This is also called user-generated content, or UGC for short. And this is a gold mine. If you have a product that customers are posting about, you want to share this with your audience. This type of social proof, real people showing that they like your product, is incredibly valuable in terms of helping other people gain trust in your product. But here's the thing though. Not all your customers are going to take the perfect photo. They're not going to be amazing professional photos. Some won't be great. But you know what? Stories don't care. So go ahead and share those photos to your story. To share, go to a post where you are tagged or mentioned in and click on the flying airplane icon next to the comment icon. There, you'll see the option to send to stories. This will only be available if the person's account allows it. And if you have enough posts of customer photos, you can definitely turn these into a highlight. It's like a testimonials page, but for your Instagram profile. Now, when you're composing your story, you'll see lots of extra goodies you can add to it. And new ones come out all the time. I'll cover just a few right now. Location and hashtags. Did you know that if you add a location tag or hashtag to your story, then your story will show up in searches for that location or hashtag? And of course, you don't want to clutter your story with like 30 hashtags that you might regularly use on a normal post, but if you're posting something where a hashtag or location, like if you're at an event, and that would be particularly relevant, then don't overlook this feature. Then there's tagging. You can also tag other accounts in a story. Tagging builds engagement if you're not doing it in a weird way. For example, a good way to use tagging is if you're in a partnership with another shop or business owner. You can give them a little story love. Polling and voting. You can add a poll to a story to get feedback from your followers. And of course, if they vote, that's increasing their level of engagement, which feeds into the algorithm and how often you'll appear at the front of the story lineup. A sliding scale, a poll, and questions are all options for creating polls. Now, you can also post videos in your stories. This is a great way to engage with your audience. Give a behind-the-scenes tour of your studio or tell your followers why your new product is something you're super excited about. Instagram allows you to post videos of up to 15 seconds to your story. But if your video is longer than 15 seconds, Instagram now automatically just cuts your video up into separate 15-second stories. The story will automatically proceed to the next one, so people will be able to see the video continuously as like one longer video. People love video. They're engaging with it so much more these days, so definitely consider using it in your stories. So just like your regular posts, you can see analytics on your stories. Check in occasionally and see what's working. Which story got really good reach? And then ask yourself, how can I replicate that? Use these stats to help determine what kinds of content to post in the future. You want to do more of what's already working well. If you enjoyed this, stay on to watch this next video. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. If you have any suggestions for what videos you'd like me to make, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.